Well, the thing you have to understand is 1998 was a very different time. When I say 1998 was a very different time, full disclosure, I was 10. This story is not about me. I wasn't in the hotel industry yet even. This story is about a hotelier, what's his name again? Hervé Labouig. It's a true story, they're all true stories, but this one was particularly sent to us after the first Hotelier secret we published. So guys, remember that, send them our way. Anyway, it's 1998, it's in France. I was 11 perhaps. You might remember something happened in France in 1998. That's right, David Beckham got sent off for kicking a player in the World Cup. And in this little hotel where Hervé was working, I believe it was just a 3-star number, just to show you that the dedicated professionals aren't just in the 5-star luxury joints. And a Brazilian couple was on their way to Paris to culminate their honeymoon at the World Cup final. Now, I know what you think. I mean, wow, that's kind of arrogant, isn't it? Buying tickets for the World Cup final way before you're even in it. Yeah, in 1998, you know, Brazilians could afford to do things like that. If an Irish person any year bought tickets for the World Cup final, he's only buying them for one reason. It's to make €1,000 profit selling them to Brazilians outside the stadium, all right? Because that's the other thing you got to remember about 1998, guys. There's no QR codes. There's no digital tickets on phones or anything like that, okay? A mobile phone, generally, they tended to be thought of as like car phones because you needed a car to carry one around. You couldn't carry one of these things around casually. Well, okay, I exaggerate a little bit. Point being, there was no tickets for the match on this one. This couple, when they arranged to get their tickets, basically had to phone a vendor in France to go and buy the magic tickets. You know, they're little magic pieces of paper. That's how tickets used to work, by the way, with a monogram on it and things like that. I'm old enough to remember things like that specifically. I know what these were. And tickets for those World Cup finals, you know, they're like gold dust. And particularly when it got to the point that the host nation, and at that point considered the best team in the world, was in the final, oof, this would have been a tough ask to get this last minute. And lo and behold, they didn't want to get it last minute. That's why they got it in advance. They contacted a vendor, he went and got the tickets, they were to be dropped off at the hotel, game, set, and match. Except the guy was supposed to drop them off at the hotel. My French is a bit rusty. And in fact, he dropped them off at the hotel. You know what I'm talking about. They're at the wrong hotel. French is such a tough language, even when you're French, apparently. Anyway, concierge is waiting for these tickets to arrive. It gets to match day. They're sort of still not there. The couple are a bit anxious. They come, where are our tickets? You know, and he's got what you call the service bug. So they say, well, we don't have our tickets. He says, don't worry, I'll get you the tickets to the game. This will be no problem at all. The service bug is an unfortunate thing when you catch it, because you just can't help but say, yeah, that'll be absolutely no problem. You know, and you do get addicted to that sort of stuff. It's kind of like throwing the dice in a craps game, you know? While the dice are in the air and before they land, you're elated. I can get this, I can win. And you don't always win, but a lot of the time you do if you try hard enough, you know what I mean? And that's what this guy wanted to do. He wanted to get those tickets. He knew he'd get those tickets. So he said, absolutely, no problem. And the second, of course, they left the hotel on their way to Stade Francais, 6 hours before the game roughly, then he began to go, well, how the hell am I gonna get these tickets? So what did he do? First thing he did, phones this ticket vendor. The ticket vendor, he says, yeah, who's this? Oh, this is the hotel, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, oh, right, should I know you? He goes, yeah, you're supposed to drop tickets off here. No, I dropped those tickets off at the hotel, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you mean the one on the other side of town? I get that those hotels sound similar, but one's the other side of town. So our hotelier hero, Hervé, hops on his scooter and pumps it like Tom Cruise in the latest Mission movie, much slower, let's say. It's Parisian traffic and he's on a scooter to the other side of the city to get to this hotel. Finally arrives there, still sweating, thinking, he's ignoring the problem of how he's gonna get these guys their tickets. Remember guys, 1998, phones were phones, not magic computers for your pocket. And he goes into the hotel, he says, you've got World Cup tickets for me. World Cup final tickets. Brazilian couple, on their honeymoon. I need them right now, super important. The guy goes, well, yes, we had those tickets. Had, past tense, I don't know what that is in French, but bear with me. Goes, yeah, we had those tickets. We saw they were Brazilian, so that we sent them to the Brazilian embassy. Alarm in the head. Brazilian embassy. Guy gets on the phone to the Brazilian embassy, ensures they're still over there, but nobody's picking up the bloody phone. Why? Because it's World Cup final day in the Brazilian embassy. I mean, give the guy some credit, okay? They can't be on duty every day of the year. Well, I mean, you'd think Brazilians would be used to getting in World Cup finals by this point in history, but anyway, we'll leave it at that. You know, not everyone's in the service industry. Living on a prayer, hops on his bike again, and to the Brazilian embassy. Now, by the way, guys, it's 1998. He's not using a GPS. He's looking at maps of the city where he found the address of the Brazilian embassy, memorizing street names and so forth, and goes. That's how people used to do things back then, you know what I mean? Before we had supercomputers in our pocket, we were just superhuman up here. It's a true thing. Manages to rock up to the Brazilian embassy, pounding on the door. Everybody's inside swigging, I don't know, caipirinhas or whatever they have over there on those days. And eventually somebody opens it up. There's a carnival inside. Everybody's celebrating, I imagine. And he's like, what, World Cup tickets? Oh, yeah, maybe we do, but I need the World Cup ticket. I need them. Sends them back inside. Eventually he gets his World Cup tickets 2 hours before the game. So what does he do? He takes another leap of faith, hops onto the bike, and heads for Stade Francais. Now, guys, even with a magic supercomputer in your pocket today, the task in front of him is monumental. I don't know how big that stadium is, but let's say it's 80,000. Let's say that it can fit 80,000 people. So there's 80,000 people milling around, and for anybody who hasn't been to a football game, let me let you in on a little secret. Roughly 50% of them are dressed exactly the same. They're wearing the same shirt, the same colors, all milling around. It's Hotelier's nightmare. This guy's got the service bug. He wants to deliver those tickets. He's also a polite man. I mean, I've only seen this story in writing really from Hervé, but I just picture a man dressed like myself going around tapping people on the shoulder going, excuse me, no, never mind, excuse me, never mind, 80,000 times until eventually the day winds down. It's just, he's starting to give up. He's gonna lose the service bug gamble. Just goes, ugh. And these are monogram tickets as well. It's not like he can just hawk them off to people or anything like that. He stands near the hawkers to see, like, are the Brazilian couple there at all? And he's about to give up and go home, and then spins around and he finds them. And I know it's hard to believe, but that, like all the Hotelier secrets, is a true story. And what's the secret in this case? I mean, you could say sometimes the service gods just smile on you. But you could also say, I mean, when you're that dedicated to your job, you know, sometimes you are gonna catch a lucky break. Now guys, like I already mentioned, that's a true story, but these are all true stories. That one was sent in to us in response to last week's story, okay? We want to hear your Hotelier's secret stories, and we want to tell them, okay? So, like the video, share it with your friends, comment below if you got a story to tell yourself, and head over to thehotelclub.com or email us at contact@thehotelclub.com and send us your stories, okay? Till next time.